Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Brand Builder Series. Through the Brand Builder Series podcast, it is our desire to, broadcast the inspirational messages and stories of entrepreneurs from all around the country, all around the world. Today, we have a special guest with us, Davonta Morrison, owner of Young Dynasty Clothing Company. Allow him to Hey Devontae, if you just want to, take a moment, introduce yourself, let the people know who you are.
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. For those who do not know, my name is Davonta Morrison. I am founder and CEO of Young Dynasty Clothing. And pretty much, I want to thank Willis for having me on the show here today on the Brand Builder Series. It's an honor and pleasure.
All right, all right. Thank you for that introduction, Devontae. We'll go ahead and get started with today's episode. Devontae, as stated, you're the owner of Young Dynasty Clothing Company. If you could just take just a few moments out just to let us know, just what inspired you to start, Young Dynasty Clothing. Just as a matter of fact, just take us back to the beginning, just let us know about, your journey, you know, from, just the start of it all.
Okay. Well, Young Dynasty, the idea of Young Dynasty originally started in Gary, Indiana around 2014 in my grandmother's basement. And then I took the idea out to Indiana State University, my alma mater. Shout out to the Sycamores. Ended up taking it out there, and originally, Young Dynasty was supposed to be a management company that actually managed it, young entrepreneurs that actually like funded their ideas, but also helped them get like more funding and mentorship pertaining to their ideas, whether if it was an invention or some type of product or some type of business, whatever the case may be. Like Young Dynasty was supposed to be like the middleman company originally, but it didn't start becoming a clothing brand until about 2017, and then 2019 is when I decided to actually make it as a full business. So, idea of it started in Gary, Indiana. The business itself started in Terre Haute, Indiana, around 2019, and the business has been going ever since. And what pushed me to start it was just overall as an entrepreneur who's been doing different ventures for now almost 10 years. I just had this was just one of the ventures I managed to just like kind of launch the way that it did, and I've just been stuck. I've just basically just been sticking with this one ever since. But Young Dynasty was just basically supposed to be a symbol to, inspire people to embrace the hustler within themselves, let alone the leadership within them and the hunger within them in order to create a better life. So that's mostly what started Young Dynasty.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Uh, I heard you mention, you're a native of Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana has always been known as, a city that really breeds, hustlers, those that are really striving, to pursue what it is that they have a passion for. You could just speak to, some of the just characteristics and traits you learned and kind of just grew accustomed to, just growing up in Gary.
Okay. Well, to shorten it, some of the characteristics that I grew up with in Gary, especially being from there, was, of course, ambitious, determination more than anything because when you come from where I come from in Gary, you automatically become determined very early on what you want to do with your life, whether it's doing something legit or illegitimate. And I will also want to say is also one of the characteristics again was being optimistic and somewhat open minded because when you come from Gary or when you come from any other place like within the region, you realize that like the region overall, Gary, East Chicago, Hammond, whatever the case may be, you realize just how short those areas are, and especially in Gary, because Gary technically is only about 63 blocks at most, 53 really, but there's a couple more blocks that most people won't claim. But overall, the city itself It's really a natural about 53 blocks short. And when you realize the world is bigger than those 53 blocks, it makes you broaden your mind out. But again, not too many people coming where I come from branches that. So those are most likely the characteristics that you learn as far as growing up in Gary. Like those are the main ones. There's a long list of, but those are just.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you mentioned, some of those, characteristics, some of those traits that you learn, you know, just kind of growing up in Gary. But from the looks of things, it looks like you channeled, a lot of that in a positive direction. You channeled that into a passion, that you could be proud of, that you could use to really, create something better for yourself and also something that you could give to, the generations to come down the line. So can you speak to, some of those particular people that may have grown up in Gary, but didn't go down the business path that you went on and maybe went down other paths, that had maybe uh, put them in unfortunate situations? Could you speak to some of those people, give them a word of encouragement?
Yeah, I mean, the best word of encouragement that I can give to other people, such as my own skin and such as myself, that came from the same neighborhoods and streets that I came from. If anything, believe that one that there is more than life than just the streets. Like that's the best. Like that's really like the best way I can put it as, because I understand coming from an inner city. I understand how one it's easier said than done to just do good in school, go to college, and then get a good job, and then realize, boom, you'll have what you may need to have to survive in this world. That's all fine and dandy, but that's not the full reality for every single person. Because when I was mentoring kids, I had to learn as a mentor. I had to learn that just because kids may come from the same backgrounds that I may come from or similar backgrounds doesn't mean necessarily like the opportunities that I had or things that I was exposed to doesn't mean that they were going to be exposed to those things as well within their lives, if that makes sense. So overall, for anybody, saying that is, still in Gary and, that wants to, strive away from the legitimate aspects of life. I mean, not legitimate, the illegitimate, my apologies, the illegitimate aspects of life. Just one, believe that you can do it, and also make a plan, really, like, because trust and believe, dealing with the illegitimate life, I have seen many people who have gained wealth from it, but at the same time I've also seen that wealth go down. I've seen a lot of people who's in a lot of different aspects of the illegitimate world, from I ain't gonna really split them, yeah, no, from drugs, from selling drugs to pimping and everything of that nature. I done seen all the aspects and been around all different types of characters. And I done seen all of them go at their highest and then hit rock bottom. Once it came down to them being either in jail, shot, killed, or more or worse than ever, life support. So the point what I'm getting at is that being in the illegitimate world, it's not guaranteed to last forever. Like overall, what's gonna basically come across is you either gonna, if you're fortunate enough to get out and stay out, cool. But if you stay in it long enough, eventually what's gonna come to prison. It's gonna come. Sorry about that. It's gonna come to either prison or death. Those are the two main aspects. Those are only two options that you got when you stay in this world. So that's the best way I can really say. So really believe in whatever it is you're trying to do, legit wise. Believe it can be done and make it done and make a plan to get it done. It don't matter how small you start out. The sooner you can start off on bits and pieces, it adds up down the line. And also don't let the influences that you may be surrounded by. Don't let the influences convince you to do otherwise. Because that's another thing that in my hometown that a lot of people do tend to kind of get straight away from doing legit stuff is mostly the influences that's around them.
All right. So you talked about your journey, just running Young Dynasty, just kind of how the idea, transformed and kind of just even grew from one idea to another idea, and kind of just how it amalgamated to kind of what it is today, as Young Dynasty Clothing Company. So in that, can you kind of just speak to just some of the ups and downs, some of the lessons, some of the challenges you may have learned throughout the whole time of running the company? As outsiders, we may see the business as it is today. We may see the brand, on photo covers, on social media, and things of that nature. But talk about, the behind the scenes experience and, some of the things that, we may not know of, just as, customers and people supporting the brand from afar.
Okay. Um. Well, pretty much to some of the I'll start with the challenges, and the challenges is when you trying to have a business, especially like on demand. One, you have to come to realization that your product is gonna do one or two things. Either it's gonna either persuade people to buy it, or people are not gonna buy it, or it's not gonna be appealing to everybody. So you have to you kind of got to come to grips with that. During your first years of getting into a clothing business, that you might not make any money for the next few years, possibly. And it's not even so much that your product is not appealing or anything like that. It just may not be appealing to the people that you're trying to sell it to. So sometimes you might have to change up. You might have to change up a bit of the customer base that you go after. And you also kind of realize as well the lack of support that you will get pertaining to business, because some businesses have a good support, and then some of them don't. And then that's what becomes a bit challenging, because emotionally and mentally for you, you kind of be wondering like, well, damn, like the hell am I doing wrong? Like, I see a lot of people supporting this person that I know, but yet I can't even get the same level of support for my business. What's going on? And sometimes you just gotta realize before you really gain the notoriety or the respect or whatever the case you may be looking for pertaining to being in this business, you gotta realize that you're going to struggle first before you rise. Like nobody rises overnight. Like it just don't work that way. And then another challenge is finance, because when you are doing this independently, I'm gonna recall this. When you're doing this independently, it's costing. It costs a lot. And then on top of that, you're trying to make a living still. You're still trying to make a living. Even if you have a roommate, sometimes your roommate may fall on hard times when it comes to money. And I speak from that. I speak that from experience. Especially recently and all of that. But that could be a problem. That could be a challenge for you financially, because maintaining the finances to fund your business while you're trying to maintain a living can also be very hard, especially when like I said, if you have a roommate and you realize that roommate falls on hard times, or just you yourself, you end up falling on hard times, because like your job may not pay you enough, or your family might be sick, something like that. Like something comes up, you know and then on top of that, not to get too political or anything, but I think I've told you this before, Will, and I've said this to a lot of my friends a lot, where we also have to realize the economy we live in now, the cost of living rises every single day. It rises every day. So it's like now you can't even go grocery shopping with you can't even go grocery shopping with $40, go grocery shopping with $40, you're gonna pretty much walk out with probably about like 5 or 6 things. Versus how you used to walk out with a lot of stuff with $40. Can't even do that anymore. Not to mention now when you try to get an apartment and everything like that, well, no matter where you live at, rent is constantly over. Rent overall is over $1,000 or over nine. You'd be lucky to find a place for like 950 or eight something. You know what I mean? Like hell, if you get that, that's a blessing. So just from trying to make a living and trying to fund your business will definitely become challenging. Especially when you don't want to go take out any bank loans or anything like that. And yes, you could try to still go after, investors. I would encourage any entrepreneur to go, definitely if you know some people that will be willing to invest into your company, then by all means go after it. But if you don't want to go that route and you just want to like fund it yourself, like how I chose to do, then understand like it's going to be very tough. Because consistency is key in this business. Consistency is, like I'm gonna say it again, consistency is very key in this business, and it's key overall becoming an entrepreneur. Because once you present a brand or a product, people are gonna gravitate towards it. They're gonna gravitate towards it eventually. But the biggest challenge that's gonna be for you as an entrepreneur is just maintaining the consistency. Because once the train starts, you can't really stop. You gotta you gotta keep it going the best way that you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what, entrepreneurship, is all about, just keeping going, weathering those storms, wherever they may come from, that's one thing that you truly do, learn, throughout any journey, as a business owner. So, with you saying that, could you kind of just speak to, some of those motivating factors, what inspires you to keep going, when the challenges do come, when, the finances, you may not have the finances to fund the next clothing drop, you may, have trouble, just doing some of the just things that you need to do, to keep the business how you would like to keep it updated. Kind of just speak to, what keeps you motivated, how you weather those storms when the challenges do hit.
Um, to be honest, what keeps me motivated, I would say one is the promise that I had made to my father when before he died. The promise I had made to my father, he because this was around the time that me and my partner we just had got all the finance out the way for Young Dynasty to go ahead and fully launch the way we really really legally needed it to, you know, versus us just selling clothes and then making money through Cash App and everything like that. Now we wanted to actually go more legal. We wanted to take care of more legal matters because the more legit your business is, the safer you will be prior to owning it. If that makes any sense to anybody. So the moment we got that out the way, uh, and then like I said, the day before my father died, he made me promise over the phone. He said, no matter what, do not stop doing what I am doing with Young Dynasty. He just said, literally, he was just like, promise me. He said, promise me that you won't stop. He was like, I know everything is slow right now and it's going to get tougher for you, but do not stop it, no matter what. Even if it means that you have to do it all by yourself. So if your partner ain't picking up his end, don't get emotional. Don't even get angry about it. No, you keep going. If it means that you just gonna have to just move on your own, you move on your own. Don't worry about what no one else ain't doing or what someone else is doing. Focus on what you are doing. Point blank range. There's no if and buts about it. So I told him I promised him. So I promised him that I would keep it going like that, no matter what. Like I didn't care what storm that I was gonna have to weather with Young Dynasty. I was gonna still continue to keep doing Young Dynasty no matter what to the day I die. And I still stand on those words to this day. I stand on that. So that was one. Second, what motivates me as well is because of how much that I have built this brand, because I built this brand from ground up, and I'm still continuing to build it. And for me, I like the hustle. I like it. I like being an entrepreneur, even though yeah, it may be in a struggling sense right now, in my opinion, but that's okay with me though. I don't care how it looks. I don't care what other people think about it. Because at the end of the day, it's mine. It's something that I built, and I own it. Can't nobody take that away from me. I don't care what. I don't care like I said. I don't care what other people think. I don't care what it looks like to other people. It's my, part of my French. It's my shit. It's my shit. So I still have a sense of drive and hunger and some form of peace and happiness, knowing that I actually have something that I own completely outright, and can't nobody take it away from me. So that's two. And then the last one, because I'm gonna short the list down. The last thing that motivates me to do what I do pertaining on Dynasty, it's life itself. Because I don't want, because one, I don't want to work for someone for the rest of my life. That's just not what I've come to grips and learned. That's just not what I'm built to do. I'm built to do more than that. So that's why, if anything, I'm choosing to work my ass off. I'm in my 30s, and I was doing it in my 20s. I'm still doing it in my 30s. I'm trying to get to a point where when I reach my 40s, where here lies the only thing that I could just focus on is it's this brand. It's just Young Dynasty and any other business endeavors that I have. So the next position that I plan to have in my 40s is where I'm sitting at the head of multiple businesses along with Young Dynasty. So that's the next. That's really the next position that I want to aim for going into my next round after my 30s. So in order for me to do that, I have to continue to build in my 30s now. So in my 40s, I can actually be in a much better position ownership wise.
Absolutely, absolutely. You said a lot of gems, in that just brief moment. But I kind of want to go back to one thing that you said, a lot of times, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we set off on one path and we may expect it, to just reach the points of success that we aspire for it to reach, just in a short amount of time. That's always the goal. How can I become successful as quickly as possible? But even when you were talking, you kind of brought me back to, a famous entrepreneur that many of us know by the name of Damien John. And if my research proves correct, I believe that he closed Fubu down at least three times before it really reached the pinnacles of success that we've seen it reach. So if you could just take a few moments just to kind of speak to, that business owner that may be battling, should I continue to pursue this path, or should I, call it quits? You know, really just, speak to that person that's, kind of having a hard time deciding, what's next for their particular business.
Okay, for sure. Um, First thing I'm gonna say is definitely I will say definitely continue, because I speak from experience where it's been plenty of times I've had to shut down Young Dynasty just to actually really like focus on getting some things, financially knocked off in order for me to continue business. So I won't say necessarily no, don't shut down your business. If anything, depending on what it is, if it's like a restaurant or something like that, okay, then you really, really gotta like think about, if you're gonna shut it down, is it really gonna be worth it shutting it down? Because I know for me, when I shut down production from time to time, it made me depressed. It made me extremely depressed, and that was something very hard for me to like live with, which is why, now I strive to like kind of on a slow scale, on a small scale, try not to have to shut down so much. If anything, I just still continue to put out product and everything as much as I can. But as far as shutting down your business, I wouldn't say necessarily, depending on what you're in, For some businesses, you won't have to necessarily like shut it down completely. You could put it on ice and on pause. It's just, if anything, you have to come to grips that when you put your business on pause for whatever amount of time you need to put it on pause, you're gonna have to come to grips with that. It's gonna take you a lot more to build back up the momentum that you may have had. Because businesses comes and goes every day, and businesses succeed and fails every single day. And we live in such a not just an economy, but we live in a world where commerce is everything, and instant gratification is key. That's now instant gratification, fame, and whatever. That's key for a lot of people now. Everybody wants to be instantly satisfied. Everybody wants the next thing that just came out within 3 seconds, versus something that just took a long ass time to build up and just got released last week. So it's like, what may be hot today can be trash tomorrow. And that's what low key, me being in this business and as an entrepreneur, that's what it's taught me. So, to the people who may be in those positions of struggling and everything like that, I will say is, if you're gonna shut down your business, think about it first. Like, think really, really hard about it. And if you're just trying to just put it on pause for right now so you can handle a few things, then that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm not even gonna say and tell you it's not. No, do that. Just, if anything, make sure you plan on returning to your business and bringing it back up. Because trust and believe, the moment you gonna get back into the swing of everything, the hustle is gonna get tougher. It's gonna get tougher for you. But if it's really worth it to you, you won't worry about that. You'll find a way to make it happen. So I would just say, for those who are in that type of position, if you are gonna shut down your business, really think about it. And if you're gonna put it on pause, cool, but make a plan. Make a plan prior to putting it on pause, because it's very easy to slip away from what you intended to do versus what you're doing, if that makes sense. It's very easy for business owners to slip away from what they were doing with their business and realize they just get stuck on, okay, I gotta make money, I gotta make a living, I gotta take care of responsibilities. My business will have to just be the back burner. It's easy to put that it's easy to put your business on a back burner when you have responsibilities to take care of. So that's it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Want to ask you, what does balance mean to you, and how do you find balance? Given that you're, trying to, establish a streetwear brand. You have a 9 to 5 job. And I'm sure you have many other responsibilities in your life as well. So how do you find that balance, or is there a balance that you have currently, when it comes to, just your life and life as a business owner?
You know what, Willis? To be honest with you, man, there is a balance, and how I managed to find it, I ask myself that question almost every day, and I'm still trying to figure out how I do it, man. Because yeah, I have a full time 9 to 5 and a part time 9 to 5. And let alone, hell, might actually end up just turning that part time 9 to 5 into another full time 9 to 5, just so I can actually fund more of my business and fund some other things as well. So, how do I find the balance with it? Honestly, I will say it's definitely time management. But to really answer, like, I don't really have like a full answer of how I do it, because I just do it, man. Like, honestly, I just do it, and I just try to balance out the times that I may have, whether it's work or Young Dynasty. Like, I always make sure overall, no matter whether I'm at work or if I'm handling something, I always make sure that I put in time to deal with Young Dynasty. I don't care whether if it's me going over numbers on getting product. I don't care if it's me doing some research pertaining to social media, where what particular fashion trends are going on and things that I need to like. I don't care, like something pertaining to my business. I make sure that I take time out of the day to do something pertaining to that, because also working on Young Dynasty, not gonna lie, that creates a lot of peace for me, given everything that goes on in this crazy world. So me working on Young Dynasty is kind of like my time away from. That's like my disconnect, as I like to call it, my disconnected time away from everything else that's happening in this world. So I just whenever I can work on it, I just work on it. Like I don't really make too much of a plan on how to balance it. I just all I do is just keep it in my mind, like saying I know that I got X, Y, and Z going on, but I'm gonna make some time. But I'm gonna make the time to work on my business. I'm gonna make the time to handle something pertaining to my business. I don't care what it is, and then I just go from there, really, because that's the best way I could really say how I maintain the balance. Because there's really no specific way on how you maintain balance when you own a business, because there's always challenges that comes across. There's always something. Once you succeed at one thing, there's a new challenge that comes out of nowhere. So really, as a business owner, the best way I could say you could really find business, you can really maintain balance on owning a business plus maintaining your responsibilities is just stand on your toes. Really, it's really just stand on your toes, like almost as if you're a boxer. Like you took one hit, you was able to knock your opponent down, but you also still staying ready for your opponent to get back up. So yeah, that's the best analogy I can give, honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just kind of speaking to the growth, of Young Dynasty Clothing Company,
Hmm.
you can have an idea, all day long, but if you don't take the measures and actions to get this idea out to the world, then at the end of the day, it's just an idea. So, what have been some of the effective ways that you've marketed Young Dynasty clothing, and maybe your favorite marketing campaign to date for Young Dynasty Clothing Company?
Uh, definitely, it's definitely, of course, through social media. I will say definitely social media has been one of the tools, and then of course, just speaking with people, in public and random, because like here, just at work right now, I'm rocking my brand and everything like that now. This is one of the designs from our brand that we had put out at one point. We actually have this out now. We have a remix version of it, so be sure y'all go check it out on our website. Yeah, we have a remix version of this, and I I talk to people, here at work or wherever I go to nonstop about Young Dynasty as well. Cause it was actually when you mentioned a long time ago about me like going to the mall and actually just talking with people about YD and everything like that. I actually had did that where I had business cards and everything like that, and I gave out. And I got to get some more business cards because we ran out. But my favorite marketing campaign pertaining to Young Dynasty that I've now kind of gravitated to more is creating content, like video content, because I like content creating. I don't know about any other business owners, but for me, I thrive off of it, honestly. Like I like it to the point where now I want to I damn near I want to try to create content every week, honestly. And I'm slowly getting to that point. I'm slowly getting to that, but I want to try to create new content where I don't care, even if it's comedy skits or whatever the case may be, whatever that showcases my clothing, content creating wise. I want to dive into those and bring those out pertaining to Young Dynasty. So I don't care even if it's a video where we got an artist if we have a street artist doing a graffiti picture of YD, whatever the case may be, I don't care. Like I want to showcase that. because I think the more visual that your brand, especially if you're a fashion brand, the more visuals that you are able to showcase of what your brand is, the more notoriety that it will have. And when the time does come for it to really skyrocket, it's going to skyrocket. So I would say, yeah, I would say the most campaign, oh yeah, the most campaign that I've actually, marketing campaign that I have loved the most doing with Young Dynasty has really just been when we do content creation on every new designs that we got coming out. You know, that's been my biggest, and of course, photo shoots too, like putting out photos of our clothing brands and shit like that. Like I love that type of campaign stuff, like marketing wise. Like I love it. Puts a smile on my face, to be honest.
Uh, who is your favorite marketer?
Who? My favorite marketer. Um, my favorite marketer. Well, one, I'm gonna just keep this. I'm gonna just go ahead and keep this all the way a buck right now. And I know this might make you laugh and everything, but really, my favorite marketer I'm speaking with right now. I'm speaking with my favorite marketer right now as we're talking. So it really is you, Will. It's you, Gary Vaynerchuk, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Damon John, and then the last one I want to say is Mark Cuban. But you're number one.
That's much appreciated. That's much appreciated. I didn't pay him to say that, people. I didn't pay him to say that.
No,
But
he did not. He did
appreciate
not
it.
pay me to say that. That's all the way real.
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. There's a few questions, few just lasting questions I want to ask you. Just as we wrap up and everything. But I guess what's the ultimate goal? For Young Dynasty. When you dreamt about the company, when you continue to dream about the company, where is it that you see it being? You know, long term. And at the pinnacle.
The end goal for Young Dynasty is to actually turn Young Dynasty from an online streetwear clothing business to a chain store operation. Where here lies we have stores in multiple cities. And even if it is just like a mall, even if it's just like multiple malls, multiple shopping malls, we want to have a store in multiple malls, what in multiple cities. So we want to have one in Indianapolis, we want to have one in Chicago, we want to have one in possible every major city. So that's the goal. That's really the end goal for Young Dynasty is to really turn Young Dynasty from online to a full fledged clothing store, and hopefully build and branch out into other cities as well. Because we want to. I mean, I've always wanted my own store, especially clothing store where I sold clothes and sneakers. I've always wanted that ever since I was a kid because I love clothes. I love clothes and I love custom stuff. Like I don't really like. I mean, I like the name brand stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really have full desire for the name brand stuff. I like custom stuff. I like stuff that's easy, that's customly designed and stuff like graffiti and all of that. Like that's my style. I can't speak for everyone else, but that's my swing. So that's the end game right there is to have Young Dynasty being, if not being multiple stores, then we have our own shops in multiple cities. And then of course also make Young Dynasty a pillar of the community as well. What I'm saying? Especially in Indianapolis and where I'm from, which is Gary, Indiana, and then of course also where my partner's from, which is Michigan City, Indiana.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I guess you just mentioned it. You just mentioned that you have a partner. Kind of speak. Give your partner a shout out. What inspired you to bring your partner on the team and as an owner of the company.
Got you. Well, originally, Young Dynasty had three people at the realms. It was two other partners I had. It was two partners I had really. One was Joseph Duralis, a good friend of mine to this day. Actually, the man's like family. And then of course my current partner, who is Mr. Kwame Carter, and he's from Michigan City. Joseph is also from Indy, but right now he's living in the South now. And Joseph had decided originally he wanted to be a part of the business. He supported it for a while, and he was one of the very early people, early on, even before Kwame, to see what I was trying to do and everything like that, and somewhat helped me build the structure of it. So that's what brought him in, and then Kwame came across the same way, and both of them at the time proved to me that they understood what I was trying to do with Young Dynasty. They understood the philosophy of it, and they just slowly helped, build towards the structure of it. And then I decided to make them partners. In Joseph's case, Joseph ended up having a lot of things going on. So from his standpoint, he decided he wanted to part ways business wise and everything of that nature. Originally, that's not what I wanted because I really wanted Joe to still stay on it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna force anybody to still stay on the team. At the end of the day, they're grown. They can do what they want to do. So if anything, me and Joseph may have part ways business wise, but we're still good friends and everything of that nature. And Young Dynasty is a family. So Joseph is still part of the family. He may not be a part of the business, but he's still part of the family. Kwame, on the other hand, Kwame chose to stick around and he has been ever since. And even sometimes he has, some other things that he focuses on pertain to family because he's a family man more than anything. He's a family man, he strives to keep his family strong. So I'm still working with him from time to time on making some things happen with, business level to try to get him, in that hunger mode with it. But overall, though, he's a good part when it comes to when I really need him for YD. He does. He gets the job done. And I know right now a lot of things is getting tough for him and everything, especially with not to put too much out, but his grandmother is sick. Shout out to his grandmother, and I know that's what he's been mostly focused on the most. So for right now, in a way, I am kind of like right now a lone wolf right now in the situation, but that's fine for me because I know once my team really comes back in full sync, it's gonna be on like the championship NBA playoff game. You feel me? So if anything, right now, that's where that's what caused me to do the partnership and everything like that. Plus, I thrive off loyalty. I thrive off loyalty and hard work. So, and that's what Kwame definitely displays each time when it comes to YD. And if anything, right now at this point, with us being in the business for as long as we have, I'm just now just trying to get him to turn up on the same level that I'm at. If that makes any type of sense.
Got you, got you. So, Young Dynasty, you know, when you designed this brand, when you design the launches, launch the campaigns, who is your target audience? Who do you envision wearing the apparel, wearing your brand? Speak to that.
Uh, Definitely gravitating towards with kids. That's for sure. But also, we gravitate towards to everybody from ages mostly 18 to 38. Because within our research and also just within a lot of the marketing campaigns we have done, we have actually come across a lot of people from the age range of 18 to 40 that actually really rocks with our stuff. We've had more supporters outside of the color of our skin that has supported our brand more than our own people, and it's been within the age range of 18 to the age of 40. So that's really our main target audience that we aim for, and we're also striving to aim for the little kids as well too. Like we're slowly bringing that up and everything. Just now we're trying to make sure that our designs are kid friendly, not too gritty, not too hardcore. I mean, if that makes any type of sense, because they're little kids. So we want to make sure that they can wear something that's a lot more, you know, kid friendly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're about at time. Again, appreciate you, Davonta, coming on. Letting the people know about Young Dynasty. But before we wrap, if you could just, take a few moments just to let the people know, what you have coming up, how they can connect with you, buy a shirt, sweatshirt, shorts, just support the brand and whole at as a whole, and like I said, definitely let us know what upcoming campaigns and drops you have coming up.
Got you, got you, got you. So anybody that wants to get in contact with me or touch base with me, you can reach out to me during my on my Instagram, which is underscore Mr. Morrison, Mr. Dot Morrison on Instagram. You'll be able to find me there for sure. Or if you want to, you can also go to the Young Dynasty Instagram, which is shop underscore Young Dyn at shop underscore Young Dynasty all together. Go to that. You can reach out to me there, or more of anything, just go to our website, which is www.shopyoungdynasty.com, and that way you can find our new. We have our new merchandise and everything. We have our Black History stuff out that we're going to be keeping out for the next few months, and it's called We Are History. We did it. We brought this out last year, and this year we have the remix version of all of this. So if anyone can see this a little bit more, yeah. Yeah, we have the remix version of this design right here. We have that out right now with hoodies, t-shirts, leggings, and etc. We have hats. We have other different designs as well too. So definitely go to again www.shopyoungdynasty.com. Definitely go to that and check out our new stuff. We have so much stuff already out now, and pretty soon we are going to be actually starting tomorrow. We are going to be announcing that we will be making a physical appearance at a March Madness pop up shop here in Indianapolis. We will be posting the details and everything in the nature tomorrow on our business Instagram, and it will be posted on my Instagram personally as well. So if you follow me, be on the lookout for that. You know, and if you follow Young Dynasty, be on the lookout for that. And also subscribe to our website, join the family. Join the family, get hooked onto the new stuff that we're gonna be having through, because we will be sending out word. So yeah, definitely either go to follow us on Instagram or go to our website, shopyoungdynasty.com, and that's where you will get all the info what you want to know about YD.
Well, we appreciate you coming on today. Again, our guest here, Davonta Morrison, owner of Young Dynasty Clothing LLC, founder and CEO. Uh, he told you where you can find them, where you can connect, where you can shop, support the brand. If you're interested in this story, would like to learn more about the apparel, feel free to go to where he mentioned. And again, we would just like to, appreciate him coming on, sharing his story, and what he has going on. Again, I'm Willis Lane here, host of the Brand Builder Series, founder of 4 Lane Digital. Feel free to follow 4 Lane Digital for show updates and learn more about the Brand Builder series at www.4lanedigital.com. Again, that's a wrap here, people. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Have a nice day. We're
Peace and
out.
love, everybody. Peace and love, and stay blessed.